What's up, everybody? Joey G here. Oh, spring cleaning has come in the WWE. Yes, it is. A lot of superstars got released. Some, not really didn't matter. Some could have been superstars. Get right to it. Damian Sandow, gone. Alex Riley, gone. Hornswoggle, gone. Who else? Let me see. Santino Marella, gone. Now, the big Wade Barrett gone, but his contract was up anyway. Wade Barrett, King Barrett's also been released. There's also a name that's going to be a big WWE superstar who is a former champion who's getting released. And the rumor is right now it's either Jack Swagger, Dolph Ziggler, or Mark Henry. Rumor had it yesterday that Randy Orton was getting released. And, Randy Orton's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love Randy Orton. He's my favorite wrestler in the WWE. And I don't know why WWE would release him, but there were the big rumors late last night, and just as of right now, but he's not being released. Thank God. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus. He's not being released. But yes, either Ziggler, Swagger, or Mark Henry is going to be released. And Mark Henry and Swagger, I could see. Ziggler, I would keep on the roster. He can still have some kick-ass matches. He can work. He still has fans, so I wouldn't release Ziggler. I mean, Henry's at the end of his career. I remember seeing him in his first match ever in Mind Games '96 at the Core States, or back then it was the Core States Center, but the Wells Fargo Center, when he fought Jerry Lawler at Mind Games in your house, '96, September of '96. Shawn Michaels fought Mankind. One of Shawn Michaels' best title defenses ever, for real. Great. I think that was the match that turned Shawn Michaels into a legitimate fighter. I don't know though. He still got his ass kicked a couple months later by Brett backstage in Hartford. But anyway, the WWE, Damian Sandow. That's one thing. If anybody remembers his, he was the Miz's double take, whatever, he was over. I was at the Royal Rumble in 2015. That guy got the biggest pop of the night, besides Brock Lesnar, when it was Lesnar, it was Lesnar was the champion, defending against Seth and John Cena. So the Royal Rumble that Roman Reigns won in 2015. And Mizdow, Damian Sandow, got the biggest pop of the whole night. He got the loudest pop of the whole night. It was louder than when The Rock came out, because The Rock was, with his cousin Roman Reigns in the ring. That's why there was a lot of booze muffed in there, too. But Mizdow got the biggest pop of the night, and he's released. And after he was over. Mizdow was so over. You could have did something with him. Even when he came back in his pink trunks, people were cheering him. What he would do, the elbow with disdain. He was over. And what does WWE do? They put him on Superstars. You know what I mean? They put him on the third show. You know what I mean? They put him on the first match, second matches on house shows. Maybe sometimes a dark match on a house show. Mizdow could have, I don't know about the WWE World Champion, but he could have made, he was over. You could have had a money-making feud with him and The Miz. And by the way, The Miz is the best heel in the, besides Kevin Owens, The Miz is the best heel in the company. But, Maurice is just added with him. I think that was great. He needed that. And now I think The Miz's career is resparked. You know what I mean? Is rekindled, because I think that he's going to go with that gimmick is the greatest Intercontinental Champion ever. That's what I was reading and going into, and that's what they look like direct. They're going to have The Miz hold on that Intercontinental title for a while. Because The Miz is a great heel. He can work. You know what I mean? He's an annoying little shit. You know what I mean? But he can work. He's got a hot wife. He's got that. Even when he was a face, people didn't like The Miz. You know what I mean? He's just a dick. You know what I mean? I like The Miz. Personally, I do. You know what I mean? But he's a great heel. Like Kevin Owens is a great heel. Don't screw that up, WWE. Do not turn Kevin Owens heel. Please. Don't do that. Because Vince does it. Once they start getting shit, like turning Bray Wyatt face, I don't know why, because ever since they turned him face, I don't know what he did, because I haven't seen him on TV since I don't know if he was a face turn. They just thrown him Roman that one night. Then I haven't seen him. They were going up against the League of Your Nations. Listen, I sound like Don Tony. The League of Nations. What do you call it? And then he just gets cut, and then the League of Nations breaks up anyway. It just, and Wade Barrett, was released, but we all knew that. His contract was up anyway. The crowd was, even when the League of Nations turned on him, you heard the crowd singing, nah, 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 hey, hey, bye, bye, because his contract was up, but WWE released him. So I guess, they got the last laugh. They fired him, right? Vince always gets the last laugh. Remember how Vince says, he who laughs last, laughs the loudest. I love Vince McMahon. I love Bret Hart, too. But, yeah, it's just, back to this Randy Orton situation, why the WWE would ever think, I mean, Randy Orton is like, besides John Cena and the company on the roster right now, I mean, besides John Cena and Triple H, you know what I mean? What do you call it? On the roster, you know what I mean? The active roster. The Rock's not active all the time, you know what I mean? Besides for Cena and Triple H, you know, what do you call it? And Lesnar's not active. And Lesnar, I mean, Randy Orton's your other guy. I mean, he's right. I mean, we're full-time. He's right there with Cena. I mean, I cannot believe that. That had to be a rumor, really, because I never, heard no David Meltzer or no PWI or anything. These were just different websites I've heard that on, that Randy Orton was going to get released, but it was just a rumor. And that's what it had to be, a rumor, because I cannot see why they would get rid of Randy Orton. Randy Orton, he's only 36. He just turned 36 years old. I mean, why would they ever get rid of Randy Orton? I mean, seriously, that would be very, very stupid. Same thing with Dolph Ziggler. Swagger, I mean, Swagger's a good wrestler. I think they dropped the ball with him. He could have been a major heel. I think they just played his character wrong. Or he didn't push himself hard enough, because he could have been the biggest. He could have been a great heel. When he was that world champion after he won that Money in the Bank in 2010 at WrestleMania 26, and he cashed in on Jericho and became world champion on SmackDown when the brands were split, I mean, he could have ran with it. Instead, he had the belt a couple months, and they took it off him. Rey Mysterio beat him. You know what I mean? Rey beat him in the Fatal 4-Way. The Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view in 2010. And, and then Rey, of course, Kane won Money in the Bank and cashed in. They had the little Undertaker feud. When Undertaker came back, when Kane, drugged them and shit, and Kane was running around saying, "Who did this to my brother?" And all along it was Kane. And Paul Bearer came back and turned on the Undertaker and went with Kane. Yeah, that was a good feud. But, that was one of Jack Swagger's. I mean, they were going to have Jack Swagger work with the Undertaker that year. You know what I mean? When the Undertaker came back. That was going to be the story, that Jack Swagger injured the Undertaker. That was the real storyline. When the Undertaker came back, he was going to say Jack Swagger did it to me, because Jack Swagger was the world champion. And they were going to have a feud, Swagger and the Undertaker, on SmackDown. But Swagger wasn't over. You have to push yourself to get over. If I was a wrestler and I was in the ring, remember when R-Truth lit up a cigarette that time when he went heel in 2010? Another 2010, that same year, with that same month, June of 2010. He went heel, he turned on John Morrison, he won the #1 contendership, and then John Morrison came back and said, "What kind of man are you?" And, about smoking, he lit a cigarette up. They were in England. You got to get yourself over. And that's the thing. As a heel, as a face, you got to get yourself over. You know what I mean? If you don't think it's working in that ring, you got to go off script. Go off script. Vince will love you if you get yourself over. If you can't, then you're going to be in trouble. But if not, if you can get yourself over and you're confident and you're making that kind of money, you know what I'm saying? If I was there, I would get myself over. I would make sure WWE never releases Joey G. Never. You know what I mean? But Mark Henry, I can understand. He's almost near his retirement, like I said earlier. I can understand that. Hornswoggle, where is he going? I mean, Alex Riley, he had the chance. I remember they were pushing him a lot in 2011. And the only thing fat about him was his intro music. That was all right. That was all right. But other than that, Alex Riley was that dude on NXT with the friggin' football coat. You know what I mean? Like still in high school. Never really much attracted, anything about Alex Riley attracted me to watching him. Wade Barrett, you know what I mean? He, like I said with the faxing thing, he could have been big. He could have been like a very big star. I don't know what happened. I heard he's going back to Greco-Roman, whatever they do in England. He's going back to that anyway. He already had his mind set on that. He was going to leave, but WWE got him before that, and they released him. So, whatever. Santino Marella, he's been retired anyway. I'm surprised they didn't release Christian. But I think Christian's going, I don't know, but I think Christian is going to go in the Hall of Fame next year. I don't think they're going to put Edge and Christian in. That would be, Edge is already in. But Christian is going into the Hall of Fame. He deserves it, and he is going. He's retired, but, they're not releasing him, so he's still getting paid by WWE. But Ziggler, that still could happen, though. Mark, let's get this with here. Swagger, Henry, and Ziggler are not released yet, okay? They're not, but one of them three are going to be released, or two of them three. I don't think it's going to be Ziggler. I think it's going to be Swagger and Henry, or both of them, or one of them. I don't think it's going to be Dolph Ziggler. Maybe it will be. He's in a feud right now, somewhat, not a real big feud, but Baron Corbin, and he's making Baron Corbin look real good. Baron Corbin is green, so Ziggler could put on great matches, even if he's a jobber. You know what I mean? I don't see Vince McMahon letting him go. I think it'll be Swagger or Henry. You know what I mean? But Damian Sandow's the most. I mean, why would you let him go? He was in NXT and FCW before NXT. It was FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling. I mean, he was in that for 2 years. I mean, when he was like this Playboy dude. I mean, in 2005. I mean, and they just let him go. That's you got to have the it factor in the WWE, in the wrestling business, period. And that's what sucks. There's no alternative to go to now for Damian Sandow. For any of these guys, you know, Alex Riley. I mean, guys that could go somewhere else and get over and then come back, like how they used to do back in the day. You get released, you go to WCW, the NWA, the AWA, Florida, you know what I mean? Wherever, you know what I mean? Mid-South, wherever. And, you know, world class. You get over, you get your character over. Even when the territories were gone, you go to WCW. You get over, and then you come back. You know what I mean? Bait and switch. Like Brian Pillman, real quick story. Brian Pillman really never wanted to stay in WWE. There was so much talent in WCW. You know what I mean? I'm going back to 9. I'm just making a story, a point real quick. He said to Eric Bischoff this was in 96. Nash and Hall were about to come in. Hogan and all that, Savage and all them, Flair, Luger. Pillman said, there's too much talent here right now. Let me go up north. Let me get over in WWE, and then I'll come back. And when he died, Brian Pillman, he was planning on going back to WCW in about a year. Bischoff said, go to WWE for a year or two. Pillman got hurt, so he had to go for 2 years. And then, you know, he was going to get over. And him and Bischoff and Pillman were in, you know, talking. And he was going to come back. That was the big plan. That was, you know, the plan. All go like the Bulldog and Vince. When the Bulldog got released in 92, when Shawn Michaels beat him for the Intercontinental title, him and Warrior got released for steroids. Warrior was crazy, so Vince really couldn't talk to him. But, I mean, I heard the story. Vince said to the Bulldog, you know, Davey Boy, Davey Boy was in WWF since the British Bulldogs. Go to WCW, let the steroid thing clear out. Go there for a year, 2 years, and then come back. What did Davey Boy Smith do? He went there. He was in main events with Sting. He got his character moreover. He fought Vader at Super Brawl the one year in 1993. Then he came back. And he got a spot right back, even better than what it was before. He was in the Intercontinental picture when he left. When he got back, he was in the WWF title picture. So, you know what I mean? It's getting yourself up. Damian Sandow, none of them guys can do that. They can't go. They can go to Japan, but... You know what I mean? Impact's no. I mean, Drew McIntyre's the champion. You see Vince McMahon looking at TNA saying, I need Drew Mac back. Even though he did call him the chosen one. And I did think Drew McIntyre, a.k.a. Drew Galloway, his real name, was going to be a big star. But, I mean, these releases are crazy. If Randy Orton got released, that would be effed up. Because, I like Randy Orton. And that would be, anything happens, I'll be right on that. I hear that, I'll get right on the stick and I'll let you know. But, going to have, an open forum. Coming up in a couple shows, I just want to let loose on a lot of things. A lot of people diss Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, just a lot of things, Bret Hart, and just an open forum about a lot of stuff I hear about different, just stories I hear, and I'm just going to let people know my opinion and, the stories of what happened. And it's going to be an open forum. I want people to I'm going to have an open forum about all, and I got a lot of people I want to bury, you know what I mean? Like Dick Douglas, like Adam Bomb. Like, I don't like to diss dead people, but Bam Bam Bigelow used to talk a lot of shit. But I really have something to say to Shane Douglas. And I'm not going to dedicate a whole show to you, Troy. That's his real name, Troy. He works at Walmart. Okay, well, he did. Before now, he runs his little House of Hardcore with Tommy Dreamer. But I have a lot to say to him, and I'm dedicating a whole show to you, buddy. I'm not going to dedicate a whole show to you because you ain't worth it. But I got a lot to say about you. Remember, he was Dean Douglas, and when he was Dick Douglas. He tried to blame Sean and Scott Hall for all his friggin' problems. I'm going to bury you on my next show. I got Adam Bomb, all of them. All the people that got shit to say about the Clique and how Brett was a piece of shit, too. Brett's the man, the Clique's the shit. I'm gonna address this all in my next show, okay? Because it's gonna be a straight shoot for real. Because I got a lot to say about a lot of losers in the business that have something to say about the guys that made it, okay? This is Joey G. A lot of guys released. If Randy Orton or whoever that next superstar is that who gets released, I'll be right on it. It's either gonna be Swagger, Mark Henry, or Dolph Ziggler. I don't think it's gonna be Ziggler, like I said. I think it'll be Swagger or Henry or both. But Randy Orton, thank God, is not getting released, I hope. If he does, I'll be right back to tell you. But the next show will definitely be an open forum, and I got a lot of people I want to bury. This is Joey G. I'm out. Peace.